Good evening and welcome to this edition of Sports for today, Monday, the 11th day of August 2014. I am Jaden Samuels. Cricket news: the battle is on for the second semi-final spot as this year's Caribbean Premier League comes down to its final stage. Here are the details. Avid cricket fans are asking for a Guyana Amazon Warriors and Jamaica Tallawahs CPL final, but as it is, it can be anybody's guess. After being thumped by the Barbados Tridents, Tallawahs have 72 hours to dust themselves off and regroup for Wednesday's first semi-final against the Red Steel, a must-win game as it is the other game against the Guyana Amazon Warriors on Thursday. Tridents catapulted from 4th place into the first to earn a bye through to the tournament final based on having the best net run rate after finishing deadlocked at 6-3 with the Tallawahs, Trinidad and Tobago Red Steel and Guyana Amazon Warriors. This also means that it gets even tougher for the home side, who sits on 12 points and face a must-win game as well against the Tallawahs if they were to see themselves in the final, scheduled to be played on August 16. Meantime, captain of the Warriors, Dinesh Ramdin, has made a call for the team not to get complacent, especially with the way their performance has gone for this tournament, and has also encouraged the batsmen at the top of the order to be more consistent. Still in cricket news, West Indies' new selection committee convener Clive Lloyd has indicated that youth development will be his primary focus in helping revive West Indies cricket. The Guyana and former West Indies legend has a 2-year contract as convener of the selection panel and has welcomed the appointment of Courtney Walsh and Eldine Baptiste as selectors. Lloyd also revealed the areas that have to be addressed if the region is to salvage any pride, especially where our Test cricket is concerned. According to the new convener, the under-19 level is an area where a lot of talented players are being wasted. West Indies are currently ranked 8th in the ICC Test rankings and have not won a series against a top 8 side since August 2012. The side suffered a 2-0 series defeats on their tours to India and New Zealand, and recently lost a 3-test series at home to New Zealand. Let's turn our attention to some darts news. The sport of darts here continues to be at a standstill even after a fruitful election in 2012, coupled with the lack of financial support. This is according to President of the Guyana Darts Association, Grantley Colbert. Let's take a look. The interest in broadening the horizons of darts in Guyana is somewhat clouded after financial support from the business community has dried up and members who were elected to perform duties are not present. An interview with Grantley Colbert, the president of the association, reveals that apart from Guyana not being represented at the World Cup and Caribbean Championships held in Canada, nothing much happened after the election in 2012. While not being able to acquire visas to attend the World Cup, the lack of financial support prevented the local darts team from being part of the just concluded Caribbean Championships. The president also reiterated that the functions of the associations are presently carried out without the services of a secretary, but Colbert remains faithful in the association's drive to have interest in the sport expanded. Talks with the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport to have the sport introduced into the school's curriculum, however, remains a challenge since darts can be easily used as a weapon. In local boxing news, boxers are putting in their final gym work as the date for the card dubbed Battle of the Contender draws closer. The card will feature 4 professional fights and will see some of Guyana's top pugilists coming up against the best from Jamaica, the Reggae Island. A recent visit to the Andrew Sixhead gym saw boxers making their final adjustments to their punches that will determine what happens on the night of August 30. Present at the gym at the time was Dexter Marks along with his coach Lennox Daniels, going through their final paces for a rematch against the underrated Richard Williamson for a fight scheduled for 6 rounds. Winner of the just concluded Contender Series, the hard-hitting Sakima Mullings, has almost completed his preparations for his fight against Derek Richmond, a bout slated for 8 rounds in the junior middleweight division. Welterweight fight is the 3rd fight of the evening and will see Iwan Azor taking on Dexter Gonzalez, while Kamal Russell will match fists with the ever-boasting Winston Pompey. Contracts for the card will be signed sometime this week, an official from the Guyana Boxing Board of Control today. And finally, in sport this evening, some international football news. Manchester City has signed defender Ilaiquin Mangala from Porto for £32 million for 5 years. City boss Manuel Pellegrini said the footballer possesses all of the mental, physical, technical and tactical attributes to become one of Europe's very best defenders. He has become City's 6th summer signing and their 2nd from Porto after Brazilian midfielder Fernando for about 12 million. Mangala was in France's 2014 World Cup squad but did not play in any game. That concludes our cast for this evening. I'm Jaden Samuel saying good night.